Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Kai with KBG Welding, and I got a tip of the day, welding tip of the day. So one of the applications that we do a lot are fence. We do a lot of metal fence, panel fence, whether it's prefabbed or custom. Same, pretty much the same. But what happens is on our prefab, they come, not only are they powder coated, but they're also galvanized. So I believe it's a 14 gauge tubing. And then we usually go on a 3/16 base plate. A lot of our application, we'll be anchoring onto rock or concrete. And so the best thing when we're doing that is what we do is we anchor our base plate onto the rock. We'll get our base plate on the rock, and then we'll come back with our post and we'll level out our post, because level is key to a fence looking straight, looking good, right? So what we do, and I'll just tack this plate just kind of like it's anchored. Tack it to the table here. Kind of give us that feel. So we got our base plate there. And now I need to get this post, I need to get it square. So I have my two Empire torpedo levels, and we need to get it square or level both ways. What you want to do, make sure your magnets, if you have a magnet, make sure they're clean, because they get dust, they get metal shrapnel shavings on them. So you want to make sure that's there, so it's truly flush onto the metal. So we got one that way. We'll put one, clean this one off, put it this way, and then we'll just assume this is where we need to go on the base plate to test. So what we want to do is, for my left to right, I need to level that out, and that's pretty square there. On this side, I need to level it out, and we go off that, and then when we get where we need, we want to tack it. So one thing, if you have it pushing or pulling a certain way, you kind of want to gauge which way you want to go. If you know that it's kind of pulling one way, you want to leave it room to do that way, to go that way. So we're going to go on this corner, tack it. We got it tacked there. We're not square, it needs to come out. So I can adjust it there. And I can check this one. So it needs to come this way a little bit. I have a space, you see that space there under that tube, because the cut wasn't square. We'll go ahead and we're gonna have to fill that up a little bit in order to make contact. The key is to make, put your heat on the base plate as opposed to the tubing. So we got that. That's square. We can go a little bit more, needs a little bit more pressure. This one's pretty good. We can go to this corner. I'm gonna go ahead and re-tack this because my base plate broke. So we need to come over. Get that tack. And then we still need to come this way a bit. And we'll hold it, we'll tack this corner. Got that tack right there. That's good. This one still needs to come over a bit. So what we'll do is we want to draw it this way. So we'll heat our tacks up and try to get a little bit more flex. So we'll heat these tacks up. See if we can get some movement. We got some movement. Yeah. Now since we still kind of struggling with this side, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and weld this side out, get the heat on this side so it'll draw this way. You notice I'm having a pulse because of the thin material. And the gap that was there. That drew us pretty good over there. That filled our hole. So now I'll just go ahead, and this will be our pulse. We're just gonna pulse it because after it heats up, it's pretty susceptible to burning holes. So what we're gonna do is just do a manual pulse on this going around. I'll finish this weld out, and you're just stacking it. You're pretty much just stacking it, right? Once you get this started, when you move, it's pretty easy not to have any holes, any gaps, as long as you keep moving, because you'll see the glow. Now over here we got a little gap, so we're having to slow down a little bit to make sure it fills up, and we can stay on top of the next bead, the next pulse, the next weld. Back around this backside, more gap. You can hear it. You can probably hear that hollowness, that openness. So that's the gap that's already on there. It's not a hole that we're blowing. It's actually a gap that is already pre-existing. So you can do a couple things. You can run a bead, lay down a foundation bead on the base plate at the bottom, and then come back and build on that. You might have, depending on the gap, you might have to do it a couple of times. But one, you'll get it sometimes. So there it is. Using our levels, using your tools. So again, we'll look at it that way. You can check that bubble. We're in the bubble. That's level. Come to this one. This one could be a little bit better, but it's inside the bubble. But we want to get it. You want to get it precise as you can. But that's the tip of the week. Just wanted to show that application when you're dealing with post columns, anything really that's going to be vertical. That's a tip to use. Utilize your tools. These levels, they're pretty cheap for what you use them for. The same application go on if you're building a building on columns as well. So that's the tip of the week. Thanks for checking us out, liking, subscribing. KBG Welding, serving God, burning rods. Thanks.